Hello, everybody. What's up? How's everybody doing over here? Go back to Reddit. Oh, that's not to me. Okay, good. I was about to get really triggered, so. All right. We are about to jump on to an interview, actually, with Aristocracy. She's a VTuber, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, they asked me to link their stuff. Yeah, let me go ahead and link their stuff right here real quickly. If you want to check them out on Twitch or YouTube. Let's see. There we go. All right. How's everybody doing today? Everyone doing good? Voice and video. Okay. Trying to make sure that this looks like somewhat decent because it's my secondary camera here. You know what? My hair looks a little messy here because I want to make sure, I look presentable here. There we go. Yeah, now I look pretty good, huh? Can he see this chat? What's up? I can see your chat. How you doing? All right. Curious to who the QAnon guy is. It's the QAnon shaman guy. We're gonna talk about it too. I'm so glad your baby boy's okay. I was scared. Thank you, Trucian, for the $2 Canadian. Appreciate it. Yeah. That was definitely a little scary, but yeah, he's doing great. He's doing good. All right, wait, am I supposed to call? Just hop in here. Oh. Okay. Join. Oh, I'm already joined. Okay, come on. Okay. Well, I'm here, so we'll see what happens. Am I supposed to be in the... Where's the waiting room? Oh, I have to be a member for 10 minutes. Well, better let them know that. Double Sauce, thank you so much for the $10. Man, you always choose the worst time to stream. I'm trying to bleep a nut that has to wait now just for that. When I'm stroking it later, I'll be thinking of you. Thank you for the message. I really appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate the donation for sure. Had you been a random chatter, you might get banned, but considering there was money attached to that message, we're okay. Double Sauce, thank you again for the $5. I will be thinking of you, sweet cheeks. Okay. We're going to start changing the policy that I no longer have to read the messages out loud. What's cool is that when I left the Reddit, I continued to watch Hunter while dropping all righty content creators besides him because I knew he was genuine. This was before he talked to Vosh. Oh, thanks, man. Glad you stuck around. Yeah, I know the content's a little different now, but I've seen that a lot of you guys seem to be really enjoying my recent videos that I put out. And I'm going to be really leaning into that now. Oh wait, am I able to join now? Okay. Now I should be able to join. I'm like not able to get into the waiting room. Somehow I'm in the study room, but I'm not able to get into the waiting room. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to Boomer Learns Discord. To my wonderful viewers, if you do want to help support the channel, please feel free to donate something to the Super Chat. It means a lot. I can't do anything. It looks like you're in the voice chat. Is it not working? No, I'm suppressed. I don't have permission to send messages in the channel. We'll figure it out. Hunter, congrats, you made an ex-right-winger. Dope. Yeah, I'm having some guys on tonight. The same dudes that talked to me about systemic racism want to come on here and talk about LGBT stuff now. Well, I wanted to talk with them about LGBT stuff. I'm still in that kind of a that debate style. And I know, listen, I know. I said I'm done with debate. And I kind of am. Like, I want to take it easy. I don't really want to do, like, high-profile debates that take a lot of fucking, like, require a lot of pressure or whatever. But still, I'm like an addict. I'm like some guy that addicted to chocolate. I think I'm done. And then, just one more. Please excuse the fact that I'm coughing and blowing my nose and shit. Like, I am not. I think I'm getting a cold. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening here. For a more perfect America, thank you so much for the $5 donation. And Double Sauce, thank you for the $5 donation. Hey, dude, just wanted to let you know I'm just joking with you on that. You're seriously one of my favorite YouTubers, and I like your reactions. Thanks, man, and I was just kidding around with you, too. I appreciate the support and the funny messages. Means a lot. There's not even like a waiting room here. Am I able to go back into the waiting room now? Hold on. Airplane Helix 109. Thank you for the $5 donation. Good day, Hunter. Any thoughts on John Cena apologizing to China? I need to look into that. From what I've seen, it looks pretty cucked. I need to know more details about everything else. I know that, like, just yeah, making a video like apologizing to China though is pretty cringy just on its face. And yeah, how sensitive does China have to be if like they get mad at you for saying Taiwan is a country? All right, let's see what's going on over here. I wonder why it's just... How hard is it to join a fucking Discord, dude? Yeah, I can't get in waiting room. I'm suppressed in all the other ones. I see her streaming, but I can't get in anything. Are we just gonna have to wait on like for the 10 minutes? Is that why this is happening? Come on, man. Let's go. I'm an impatient dude. I don't like... I also know that it's... Whatever's going on is weird. That's... Why is it not letting me just... Wait, now I think I'm good. No, I'm seeing more... Way more channels now. Hello. I'm still not able to join waiting room though. Okay, I'm able to join this. Now I'm able to get into the waiting room. There we go.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, I'm so sorry about all the tech issues.
No worries. It's Discord. I'm kind of a boomer when it comes to it, so no big deal.
I don't know why you didn't get rolls automatically. That should have happened. Very weird.
Can you see me right now?
Let's check that out. Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I have a secondary camera now, so it's probably not as good quality as like my stream looks, but it's still should be good.
Yeah. Well, it looks great, so don't worry about it. Is there a reason for the blue background?
It's just I've changed my setup so many times. I never know what to really have back there. Right now it's just my blue screen. Sometimes I use it like a green screen.
You see, I have an easier time as a 2D character. You know, I could just like totally recreate what happens in my background. So
yeah, I know. I'm kind of jealous. It seems like it would be really nice to be a VTuber.
oh my god, on one hand, it's harder because I feel like people just automatically respect me less because of that, and I have to work harder to get taken seriously. But on the other hand, I don't have people making fun of like my appearance. I don't have like racist comments, and I get to be a little more private, and that's a lot nicer.
Yeah, the anonymity would be really nice.
Yeah. Actually, that reminds me, I'm gonna write down. That's a good question to ask you. Okay, so I guess we'll get started. Hello everyone, and hello HunterStream. My name is Aristocracy. I'm a history YouTuber and a history streamer. I also love doing these interviews where I sit down with someone that I find incredibly interesting, and we have a kind of personal talk, and and I interview them. If you want to check me out, I am Aristocracy TV, like everywhere, just with an E, not with an A. Like a lot of people get that confused. But yeah, Hunter, do you want to kind of introduce yourself for the few people that don't know your content?
Yeah, sure. My name is Hunter Avalone. I am a former reactionary YouTuber. Most people, well, hopefully, most people no longer think of me as the reactionary YouTuber, but I know a lot of people still, when they hear my name, they instantly think transphobia. Um, but yeah, no, I'm a former reactionary YouTuber. Now I am much more of a, I guess I would consider myself a social democrat, like a centrist kind of on the online sphere. And yeah, I make videos usually critiquing media and social politics. Yeah, thanks so much for having me on, by the way.
Oh, well, thanks. Like, yeah, I'm such a smaller creator than you, so it was so cool that you gave me the time of day. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
Um, the so I want to kind of get started. Like, how like just going back to your original career and how you got started on YouTube. Like, what made you make your first YouTube video? Did you know that you were going to be getting into like being critical of SJWs or politics?
No, when I first started doing YouTube, it was just something for fun for me. Like so when I first started way back, it would have been 2011 maybe. I was still really big into making movies at the time. I would write scripts and make
Mhm.
movies with my siblings. And the YouTube thing was like a little extra thing that me and my brother were doing for fun. Um, but through that, the videos started to get like, if I got like 1,000 views, I would consider that like a really successful video, like really successful, because I was a really
Mhm.
tiny little YouTuber. I think we got a little over 1,000 subs, which we were all like so excited about or whatever. But that was usually just like funny skits. And yeah, it's the channel's still up. Some people find it and make fun of it because it's cringy, but it was still a
Is
lot
it
of
hard
fun.
for you to look at those earlier videos now?
Not those ones. Those I think are pretty funny because they're corny and cheesy, but also I was like, I'm 15 or 16 making them and I'm editing them, putting
Mhm.
them on YouTube. Like I think that overall they're a fun memory to look back at for sure. So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, that totally makes sense.
But yeah, through
But
that
I'm
we
guessing you
just
feel differently about the anti-SJW ones.
yeah, some of those videos I definitely wish I had taken a better approach with those. But that's also why I've removed a lot of that content now too.
So, how did you decide like which kind of content you were going to remove and which ones you were going to keep up?
I'm still kind of going through removing some older content. What I'm doing right now is I really want to make sure that I'm archiving everything properly because some of the videos I deleted before, it seems so dumb and I'm so embarrassed to admit it, but like I didn't bother to save them before I deleted them.
Mhm.
Um, and so now I have a new series where I go through my old content and kind of explain my new positions compared to my old ones. And then
So you're like reacting to yourself. That's really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. It's literally me like responding to myself. Yeah. And usually what I do with that is I either flat out just like debunk myself or I add nuance to some of the positions. Like I might be like, actually I kind of like agree with this to a level or whatever. Like sometimes I'll have some takes then that I still agree with now. Some of my better ones. But yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of the whole YouTube thing, like the way it started was just not really planned at all. It was very much just I was just creating content, and then next thing I knew, I really enjoyed making YouTube videos, and it wasn't until like 2014 that I started doing my own channel. My siblings, I tried to do the YouTube with my siblings. They just were not as into it as I was. So I was like, you know
Mhm.
what? I'm gonna go ahead and just do it myself then. And that's really when I broke into commentary. And so that was in like 2015. But I started the channel back in 2014. Um, and that was when I really broke into commentary and started getting into the trend of like, or like I guess my content really began to embrace that sort of like critical aspect. I was very critical of things online. I would find like cringy memes to make fun of. You know how it is when you're starting off trying to like figure out what exactly you want to do. But yeah, from there it just kind of as I got a little older, a lot of the political influences in my life were very conservative. I was following a lot of conservative pages. I thought
Mhm.
I was a lot. I thought I was much older and everything else, but now looking back, I realized that I was very immature. The way that I was like so quick to trust like very biased right wing sources, just really like kind of embarrassing shit. Um, and that from there, that's kind of what pushed into the political stuff. And if you go back to my channel, you can still see how like there are like videos like cringy pictures online, and then all of a sudden there's like that one like how to be a liberal, and like that's when I was like starting to like dip my feet into the politics thing. And the more I did it, the more I realized that it wasn't just the politics, it was the fact that I could be a little controversial and basically create a conversation. Like I really liked the fact that I could just get a conversation going. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so the more that I kind of made content, the more I found myself, I was literally like trying to rush through my like commentary videos just to get back to the political stuff. So I was like, why am I not just doing what I want to do full on? And then when I just hammered down on the politics stuff, I just rode that anti SJW wave, which it's funny because I didn't even really know that that was like a huge thing at the time. I was just making content
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted to make, and that's what happened. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone who was even watching at the time realized it was like a wave. It's easier for us to look back now, be like, yeah, that was, that was like an era of YouTube and all of that stuff. But when it's happening, I wonder if like what's going on right now, we're gonna be looking back at like I don't know, BreadTube or whatever, and think that that was a kind of weird wave. Hopefully, a less problematic wave. But
Yeah,
um,
seriously.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did like when you look back at, I guess, when you were starting with those videos, did you find that the things that made you super conservative or made you frustrated with, like, I guess, SJWs, was it like totally your own thoughts, and your own reactions, or like were you kind of, you mentioned that you were also, taking in a lot of other videos of conservatives and other criticisms and stuff. So do you feel
Yeah.
like YouTube almost kind of contributed to your kind of perspective on that?
Yeah, for sure. I think so. It was also just I was very much still in my own little bubble. So like it really kind of started when my brother just told me, he said, and of course it's a very online way to look at it now, and of exactly with the anti-SJW stuff that would have been going around in 2015. And he told me, he was like, "Did you hear about these feminists? They're saying that it would be better to just like castrate men or whatever." And he
Mm.
obviously had seen some kind of crazy compilation on YouTube where you know how there were those clips going around where there's some fucking nutcase saying something or another, right? That like is then painted as like this is what feminism is or whatever. But I don't know. I would hear stuff like that and I would get really mad. It made me really mad to hear about it. And then I started watching a lot of Undoomed. I don't know if you know who he is.
No, yeah, I don't know.
It's actually kind of cool because, well, I don't know. He also he's not really a VTuber, but he like I don't know what he looks like. He just had a little like an avatar. So he was like the
Oh, okay.
first like anti SJW, anti feminist stuff I'd watch. Um, and then from there, yeah, just more and more. And it's funny too to I say this because it is kind of cringy, but like I actually would watch some Onision back then too. Not
Oh,
so much.
everyone watched Onision back then. Don't feel bad about it. It's okay.
It wasn't even for the politics. It was just that I thought the edgy humor was so fucking funny, and then
That
I
was
just
huge back then.
yeah, and I just kind of took that and just I guess I kind of combined it. I was like the edgy
Yeah.
political guy.
Does Onision even like make videos anymore? I
He makes
I
like
don't even
video.
know if he's still on there.
I mean, he still posts videos, but they're usually either they're like re-uploads or they're just like weird iPhone videos where he's like, "I'm sorry for being horrible" or whatever. It's really creepy.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that infamous documentary that was made a bit ago, and yeah, I haven't really heard from him since, but I haven't really been looking him up, so who knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the I guess like when you look back, not a lot of the, I guess, people in the anti SJW crowd, not a lot of them have kind of like survived, right?
Hmm.
Because a lot of them have gone and kind of kicked off of the platform. And I like who got kicked off? I don't think Sargon got kicked off, but like a bunch of people have been kicked off.
Sargon's still chugging along
And
pretty good though.
he's still chugging along. So like I know that you face some criticism from some leftists who have felt like you're your change of convictions haven't been genuine because you're
Mhm.
just trying to manage to stay on the platform. So like, what would you say in response to that?
Yeah, I mean, that's not even a criticism I get from other leftists. Like, that's a criticism I get from people on the right also. They accuse me
Oh,
of
okay.
switching my politics. The thing is that I always try to explain this, that I understand from like an outside perspective how my change in politics probably did look much more abrupt than it really was. But that's just how it is, considering I don't do vlog videos. I don't do like, my videos
Mm,
aren't like super personal. I talk politics, right? I mean, I'll mention my life. People know what's going on, but so I think that if you actually like, if people were to look back at my old content, and when I say old now, I mean like late 2019, especially, after my a little ways after my Vosh debate, you can see where I absolutely began criticizing conservatives more with really genuine criticisms. It's the same thing how people could have accused me of riding the anti SJW wave just to get popular or whatever. Like, I know now that BreadTube is kind of like in or whatever, but I don't consider myself a part of BreadTube, nor do I really want to be, because I'm not down with that communist stuff.
mm,
So I think that like, I don't know. I just think that I can understand that perspective, especially from an outside perspective, how that might look a little disingenuous there. But all I can really say is you can literally look at my old content. Late 2019, I was criticizing conservatives. I had a huge falling out with the like farther right, and I was getting shit from like conservative publications for coming out against conservative censorship. When I was like, guys, you got to stop bitching about the censorship thing. Like, it's just conservatives are not being disproportionately censored for being conservatives. Um, and yeah, from that point on, like, it just kind of, there were more and more criticisms I began levying towards the right as I saw them. And, I
so,
still have
oh, sorry.
criticisms on this. Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. I was just going to say really quick, I also still on this channel have criticisms of things on the left I don't agree with also. Like, I'm not a leftist. I don't
Mm.
want people, I know if people are leftists and want to watch my content, that's totally cool. But yeah, no, I'm, it's not like I went from like far right to far left. Like, I'm a social democrat, I guess, in the broad sense.
Yeah, and I feel like your story actually rings true from a few other people I know that were in the kind of anti SJW stuff where I forget who I spoke to, but someone was saying that like they they started to just realize slowly over time that some of the criticisms that the so-called like liberals or SJWs had were right just from their own perspective, like starting to notice Nazis creep in with like the
Hmm.
alt-right,
Yeah.
and starting to notice that kind of rhetoric. Was that like a part of the change for you, like noticing, because I know, I guess, criticisms that people had of SJWs just calling all conservatives Nazis. So did you ever feel like, oh my God, wait a minute, they're starting to be actually Nazis in our movement,
Oh
right?
yeah, absolutely. When I had the falling out with the censorship thing, that was when I really realized it. And it was crazy because when I first talked to Vosh, one of the things he told me was that he thinks I might be uncomfortable if I realized how much bigotry was in my audience at the time. And looking back now, like, it absolutely was true, because after I released that censorship thing, well, it was a whole chain of events with the censorship thing. First, I did a speech, then I caught a bunch of flack for it from the alt right. Then I did a video, like, and that was my first video I'd gotten in probably forever that got more dislikes than likes. I mean, it was like I was against my audience in that one. Um,
Mhm.
and
Was that hard? Like, I can't.
it was, but I've
I
done it before. I've done it before. I've fought my audience before multiple times, even back when I supported Trump in 2016, which I, by the way, completely regret, of course. But um, I mean, even then, I remember I lost subs and I had people fighting with me and people mad at me. Like, I've pretty much since the
They're mad at
start.
you because you supported Trump or because you
Yeah,
didn't support it? Okay.
no, because I supported Trump. Yeah, I mean, there were still people at the time that really, there were a lot of conservatives that didn't like Trump.
Mhm.
So I kind of forgot where I
Yeah.
was going with that, but
Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead. Oh, that's right. It was the Nazis in the community. Yeah, when I did the censorship video, I mean, just scrolling through those comments, I was floored at some of them. Just straight up like, oh, the Jews got to Hunter or whatever. Like, I was just like, I cannot believe how blatant it was. Um, and it also is kind of rings really true when I saw who my enemies were, who the people were that got really mad at me. It was like far right morons like the Groypers, Nick Fuentes, and like is it the Daily Stormer, the white nationalist publication? They like published an article like shitting on me or whatever. Like it was obvious from who was against me that I was taking the right approach.
Yeah, that's honestly the fact that you had that, like the humility to realize that is kind of impressive because I feel like a lot of people, human beings are just tribal by nature. So, we tend to just kind of like agree with the things that our tribe is telling us, like on average. But like, I totally understand that when you start to realize that your side, you're like, oh my God, like what if what my enemies have been saying is like, like what if they're correct? What if there are Nazis in our movement? And this is a movement that is filled with like a lot of bigotry and
Mm-hmm.
because I'm assuming like you have you ever actually had those kinds of views about, like, I know you've had some problematic views about like LGBT folks, but have you ever had problematic views about like Jews or black people?
No, thankfully, no. I don't expect a lot of people to believe me because I hardly believe it myself. But I was really not as aware of the extent of that neo-Nazi stuff. Like I didn't even really know what the Jewish question was until I actually started
Mm.
listening to Vosh talk about it. And it wasn't until I understood it that I realized so much of like the memes or so much of what I was seeing was like a kind of like a dog whistle at it. It wasn't until I actually understood what the conspiracy was. But when I was still in my like really right wing phase, I was much more the conservative, like very yeah. I was against LGBT stuff, but I never, thank God, I never got to anything like the genetics, the racial genetics stuff or anything like that. In fact, I remember actually the skeptic community, like Andy Worski and those people, having a big fallout with another person named Rage After Storm because she made a video saying that like race was real on a genetic level. And then other members of the skeptic community were fighting with her on, and it was like it was actually kind of interesting because there were a lot of people that were against the race realism stuff at the time.
Mm.
And at that time I just kind of googled it and I saw like a quick study about like how like it was just something that completely disproved it. And then from there I never really thought about it again. Like I thought about maybe making a video talking about how it's not, but again I didn't realize to the extent that that was being used to like justify so much racism. And then the JQ stuff, I thank goodness never even was really like I I just was kind of doing my own thing and never really got into that. That's why I considered myself to be like yeah, reactionary or like a kind of far right conservative, but I was never like an alt-righter or a neo-Nazi.
Yeah. Mm, the well, I commend you on that. That's a good thing.
Kind of a low bar to
The
set, but you know.
Well, you know what? Like with how common that shit is right now, even on the left, like with anti-Semitism and stuff, I'm still somewhat impressed with this stuff. But yeah. If you go back, I guess, to your original anti-SJW kind of stand, like what really upset you about SJWs or liberals and stuff? Like what were your major gripes?
It was just the caricature that I was viewing of them, right? Like when you're watching Undoomed, when you're watching like the feminist wrecked stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like that was really the only idea I had of what feminism was even like. Um and not even feminism, but just the LGBT stuff also. And the whole like liberal thing that really got to me then was I felt like they were so whiny and screechy and like they didn't care about the facts. They didn't care about reality and they were just kind
It
of
was like
like
feelings over logic kind
yeah,
of thing.
exactly. It was the very feelings over logic thing. And in the thing is that I took a really bad approach by being fucking bigoted, right? But at the same time, there were a lot of people in the 2016 era that probably could have explained their positions a little better. Like some looking back now, I guess, like listen, some of the like the abuse that some of those people like Riley Dennis and Milo Stewart got is like fucking horrendous, by the way.
Mm.
But like just looking back now, like the Milo Stewart clip where they said that there were like 74 genders or whatever. Like there's actually a legit conversation to be had about like okay, if gender is a social construct, that doesn't mean we have to have two genders. So what is that like socially we recognize two gender, but when you put it like that, I guess it's very easy to take as bait. And I think the I guess the broader problem that sometimes happens, especially with conservatives, is since they're very like intuition based, sometimes these like more lefty kind of like buzzwords or phrases that they use are very easy to write off on an intuition level, I think. It's weird. I hope I'm not coming across like I'm trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to talk
No,
about like what.
I honestly I agree with you on some of this stuff. I think that in general, a lot of like I feel like I might sound like a snob here, right? But a lot of like the way like Twitter or like Tumblr type lefties or like SJWs, the way they would parrot these real academic ideas of like feminist theory or like critical race theory and all that kind of stuff. They parroted them in like the most kind of vile way. Like it was not,
Inflammatory, yeah, the
yeah, it was
white men are
inflammatory.
bad, that kind of.
Yeah, they would totally misuse concepts. I mean, just something like the concept of a trigger warning or the concept of a microaggression, right?
Mhm.
Like real academic concepts, and the way that it was parroted and the way I still see it sometimes parroted today is like a total misunderstanding of what these academic concepts are really about.
Yeah.
And like, and I do wish people would read the theory, but I know that's not accessible to everyone. But so that's why I don't like, I remember like it wasn't a lot of people, a lot of leftists were really upset with the kind of so-called SJW rhetoric that they were seeing, because it was being kind of parroted in this this oversimplistic way.
Mhm.
I mean, saying
Yeah.
just saying something simple like every single white person is a racist, right? It's they're trying to take like a an actual academic concept of preconceived bias and all of that kind of stuff, but like that's not the conclusion you're supposed to come to, that like,
Right.
and the way you say that is just total
It's so
misunderstanding. And of course,
incriminating too, and like
yeah.
it's exactly like what I kind of like, that like intuition, right? When you hear all white people are racist, like you're gonna think like, fuck off, man. Like, what are you talking about? Like, so yeah, I think that you're right. I think that that happens a lot too with especially the term, I think, toxic masculinity.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
just the amount of times I've heard people on the right be like, the left thinks that masculinity is toxic, and it's like, because partially, I mean, there are some people that do throw around the term toxic masculinity as if it's just means that like men bad or whatever. But I've done videos kind of going in depth on like the actual concept of toxic masculinity and what it means and everything else, without even using the word toxic masculinity. So,
Are there like any views that you still agree with, like those anti-SJW views?
um, I'm trying to think if they're like, I mean, I don't think it's an anti SJW view to like be pro gun. Um, I'm like, I consider myself pro life on like a personal level, but
Hmm.
people try to people accuse me of actually being pro choice because I don't support like making abortion illegal, more so because I support reducing abortion by the actual means necessary, which I guess you could argue makes you pro choice, but on a personal level and on an ethical level, I'm definitely pro life.
I
Um
don't think that automatically makes you pro-choice though. Like for example, the if you were like, most people would say that they're like anti-cheating in a relationship, but very few people are against making it illegal, right?
yeah. Yeah, I mean
So
that's, but people, I've heard the argument that I usually hear is that to be pro-life, that means that you believe that it should be illegal. That's what it means to be pro-life. That's what they say, but I think that being pro-life probably means we should be wanting to reduce abortion via whatever's been shown to reduce abortion in like an ethical way. So,
yeah, that seems a lot more rational to me. I know that like a huge part of the change that you went through was because you know um, you you found out that you were going to be having a kid. So like, have you always been kind of, pro life, or did your views like really hone down like when, you found out that your partner at the time was pregnant?
I mean, no, I was pro-life then too. Yeah, with the what happened there was that I had my daughter, um and I like thought that I just I go into it in depth in my why I left the right video, which is probably too long of a video looking back now also. um but yeah, what happened was I was a young immature guy still, I guess. I was being stupid, and I made a lot of irrational decisions. And I thought that the right move at the time was to separate from my partner. Um,
Mhm.
but then this is what I mean is I go all in depth in it in my video, but like I was totally fucking wrong, and then I realized how wrong I was, and I think that alone put me in a subconscious state, at least, where I was willing to like look and like I really felt strongly about separating from my partner. And then looking back now, like I realized how like delusional it was and how wrong it was and how irrational it was also, like the like my train of thinking. um and I just think that a lot of that forced me to kind of think like, where else in my life could I be not being as rational as I think I am.
Yeah, it kind of obviously it just shatters like maybe it shatters your ego a bit, right? I don't know if that's a good way to put it. That like that you start kind of realizing, oh, like I don't know a lot. I know I've been through the same experience where like I find out that one narrative I've always believed in is wrong, and then you just start questioning everything. Like
Yeah.
everything just, comes on the table. Was
Yeah.
there like were there any questions that you asked yourself that you ended up kind of still sticking by? So you said like I guess did you ever start questioning things like gun reform like in your head?
Well, I mean, the you know what's funny is it's funny that I say that like the gun thing is arguably, even my position on gun rights back when I was like a hardcore conservative, I was still pretty strongly in favor of like common sense gun laws, I guess you would call it. Like
Mhm.
I would have actually considered myself, you can probably find interviews where I would have said that I'm a little more liberal on the gun stuff, specifically because I recognize that like obviously it's important that we have the right to bear arms, but we all recognize that there's a line there because we're not all running around with fucking nukes. Like we know that there's a line of what it means, right, to have a weapon. So yeah, I'm fine with just like the common sense gun reform. I obviously want to see less mass shootings. I think that proper background checks and everything is important, and whatever else we have to do to kind of reduce guns falling into the hands of the wrong people.
Yeah, that makes sense. The when you look back at say like 2016, you mentioned that you voted for Trump. Um, what made you now mention that you really regret that vote. So like, can you tell me about like that journey of how you got there?
Yeah, I mean it was kind of weird because I look back now and I try to ask myself like, what would I have done. I mean, now looking back, obviously if I had the knowledge I have now, I would have, I guess, voted for Hillary. But I also try and give myself a little bit of credit because Hillary was also fucking abysmal. Like everybody hated Hillary Clinton also. So it was like, so already you really didn't have the greatest choices. But yeah, Donald Trump, just seeing the what happened over the course of 4 years with him being president, I was really displeased with it, especially even more so with how he began handling the stuff with COVID. I really didn't like the stuff he
Mhm.
said about flag burning. There was a lot of different statements he started making that I was really not comfortable with. And that was kind of along with, as I was sort of leaving the right and kind of exploring other ideas. That also kind of came with that too, when I realized, I was like, damn, Trump is really not doing great. And a lot of the talking points that I would use too, I realized were wrong also. Like you hear all the Trump supporters bring up the low unemployment thing, but then when you show them the chart about how unemployment's been falling since like 2009, um, it kind of just destroys the whole narrative.
Yeah.
So I managed to convince my dad to vote Biden. So I,
Oh,
I
that's
am proud of
cool.
that one for sure, because my dad has been a consistent Republican voter since like the 90s at least. Um, and yeah, I was able to talk him into it.
Were you like did you support Biden during the primaries or did you support another candidate?
um, during the primaries, I voted for Biden in the election. That was it. And then I got my dad too also.
'Cause I supported the Biden during the primaries. And it felt like everyone hated Biden at the time. Like everyone was like super pro Bernie. They saw Biden as just being like a total failure and mentally inept and all this stuff. And now it seems like everyone's kind of jumped on the Biden wagon, which I'm happy about, but um, it's like it's been a little strange. So yeah, so that's why I was wondering. like you originally supported him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of, I guess I thought I liked Bernie, but that's another thing too where I'm really glad I didn't really like. I'm really glad what I really try to do is before I talk in depth on issues and stuff, I really try to make sure that I do a lot of research.
A lot of research. Yeah.
So some people will bring up like, I guess there was one interview where I mentioned that like I kind of liked Bernie, because I really liked his idea about healthcare, but it wasn't until later that I realized that like Bernie, that outside of that sphere, that online sphere, like Bernie is not really very electable, and also his Medicare for All plan is like completely. I mean, it would have been the most, if I'm not mistaken, the most radical in the entire world. Like, there's ways that we can have a single payer healthcare plan that it doesn't also have to be done via Medicare for All, like that exact version of it that Bernie had that was so radical and extreme. So that was another thing too, where I'm kind of glad that it wasn't anything, like I'm really being cautious because I don't want to go from far right to far left. And
Hmm.
so I'm
I
definitely,
really commend you on that shit because it's such a human instinct to do that. Exactly what you described.
and it, for a little while, I don't think I was ever slipping. Like, I was much more aware of being in an echo chamber and everything. But even now I'm realizing, I'm like, okay, there were definitely some ideas that I was starting to kind of like, sort of like, just kind of like, I don't even know what I guess just kind of like accept in a way, that it wasn't until I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. That's wrong. Like, I don't want to get in an echo chamber in the wrong on the left either. And I still have a lot of criticisms of people of like more of like the lefty ideology, I guess, like the farther left.
Yeah,
But
let's get into that. That's yeah.
well,
Let's
those
hear
aren't as
about the.
fleshed out, but yeah, sure.
Sure,
Yeah.
no, that's fine. So like, what are like the what are like I guess like the main criticisms that you would have for the current lefty majority opinion?
I just sometimes see lefties acting really in ways that would never be acceptable if like far right wingers were doing it. I mean, I see lefties like just the other day I was on Twitter and I saw lefties sharing memes like kind of joking about like killing landlords. And I get that there's some jokes there, whatever, but like I think that if there was like that's a legitimate bad communist ideology, right? Of like murdering the wealthy or murdering the landlords.
Hmm.
And I don't really like seeing, I guess, would you want to call it lefty dog whistling? I don't know if it'd be that might be a little extreme, but like, I don't really like memes that are advocating in like a subliminal way for like the acceptability of killing people in a higher class. Like, I think that is really dangerous, just like it would be dangerous if I saw a meme joking about killing black people or killing Jews or whatever. Like, I recognize that those things are different. Also, people obviously choose to be landlords, and religious identity or ethnic identity is also very different. But I think that generally speaking, I don't like seeing any kind of like, I don't want discrimination, and I don't like seeing people joking about like murdering landlords. That was something I've kind of, that you can probably tell I don't have this opinion that fleshed out. It's more just something I'm kind of, it was something I saw the other day that I was just like disappointed in. But I also think that a lot of people on the left, they treat it a little too much like a big friend circle. Like, they're just here to kind of be friends, and that means to adopt certain ideas. But like, I've heard a lot of, I don't know, there's some lefties that just don't seem to know what they're talking about. The whole Bernie or bust crowd, like, they're fucking crazy. Like, that kind of stuff is just, there are definitely some critiques I have. I don't know. I know I'm kind of rambling here, so I'll pass the mic.
No, no. Yeah, that's fine. The by all means, you're totally welcome to ramble as much as you want. Like this is all about hearing your thoughts and hearing you speak. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Something that I've noticed particularly, like especially like I find that leftists, and this is why I criticize leftists, I guess, a little more than I criticize right wingers, because I feel like leftists just get away with certain problematic things
Mm-hmm.
much more often, whether it's like Islamophobia or like or it's homophobia, or like, which I feel like we've seen a lot with this whole Pride Parade discussion,
Mm-hmm.
or like anti-Semitism. I'm Jewish myself, so the amount of anti-Semitism I received is like primarily from leftists. And I don't, when I say anti-Semitism, like I don't just mean like being critical of Israel, right? Like that's not, I mean like blatant anti-Semitism, justifying killing of Jews on the street because Palestinians deserve to be angry because of Israel, justifying killing Israeli civilians, like just things like that,
Hmm.
or saying like go back. I literally got told by a leftist streamer to quote unquote go back to Germany.
Damn.
So like, and that kind of stuff, if a right winger said that kind of stuff, like we would be all over it, like be super, super upset about it. But I don't know. It feels like people just get away with that stuff on the left by kind of using identity politics to get away with it.
Right. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think that I even have heard Vosh talk about this, and I think it's a pretty fair criticism, is that a lot of people think that being oppressed in society, like, or what did he say? He said being oppressed in society does not mean that you're a better person. And
Mhm. Yep.
it's true. There are people who might be in an oppressed minority, or they might like. I mean, we saw it with the way the certain members of the LGBT community acted with the whole kink at pride conversation and everything else. Like, I absolutely can agree with you on there. Also, I also think that the left is, they talk, a lot about the economic side of things, the communism side of things, which I'm really not in favor of that either. I don't like. I like stronger social safety nets. I think that that's a really good electable way to get it done, but I'm not too sure about the communism socialism thing. The whole theory of what is it? The theory of labor, I think it is. Um,
Labor theory of value.
yeah, labor theory of value, exactly. Yep. So and economics is something I'm not very strong on. So it's something that I'm mainly right now just like literally unironically asking questions about. Like, I actually am
Yeah.
just kind of like curious to see what people have to say about, their idea of how economics could be better, because I agree that right now our system is not working, but I don't know if that's necessarily just capitalism bad, or if it's like, hey, better social safety nets and more regulations could make capitalism work better for everyone.
Yeah, like um I I don't know. The thing about economics, I find it's so economics are so complex, and I know my instincts tell me to believe in like safety nets and all of that kind of stuff, but I know I'm so uneducated about the theory that I just stay away from it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm also in the asking questions
Yeah.
period, so I understand.
Yeah. I mean, I know that bringing up destiny in any kind of spaces like this might be a spicy one, but Destiny brings up some pretty interesting critiques of socialism, primarily when it comes to the market theory of value. Is how do without markets, like how do you determine the value of labor? If we were to like do things via worker co-ops, right?
Mhm.
So questions like that, for example, I've heard debates on, and like I haven't really heard any good answers on that.
Do you what was your opinion on like that whole the big divorce between Destiny and Vosh, as people are calling it?
Oh, I just, you know what? I just stay out of that. No comment. I think that Vosh is someone I consider a friend, and I appreciate him, like, regardless of what happens with like drama between him and Destiny. And Destiny, I also really appreciate him. I think that he makes really strong arguments. I also credit Destiny to helping me realize that I was getting a little dangerously close to being in a lefty echo chamber. When I started listening to some of his leftist debates, I realized I was like, hold up,
That's cool.
some of these ideas I was starting to like be really like sympathetic to might not really be the greatest ideas either. Um, but yeah, when it comes to Vosh and Destiny, I truly have just no comment. I wish them both well. That's it.
I agree. Good.
Yeah.
That was a good answer. It was like you almost walked into a trap, but that was a good one. Um,
Nah.
I like both of them too, and I'm friends with both of them. And so it's like I think they're both really cool people. But I don't know.
I mean,
It sucks that people don't get along.
I'm just over here just watching the drama, just eating my popcorn and watching it unfold. Just I'm glad that I'm not in this one.
Yeah, and it's also hard to know like how much of this stuff is genuine, how much is performative. Like I don't even know. Like I'm a new streamer, so I'm still getting into this entire world. And yeah, just understanding like the etiquette
Hmm.
between streamers and how you're supposed to interact and what are things that are no-nos and stuff. Like I've already had a bunch of faux pas.
Oh, really?
It's like yeah,
What
it's
happened?
scary.
Like what? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, no, that's fine. I uh, ContraPoints made a tweet, where she made a tweet about like how she's really sad that she's felt like distanced from the trans community, and I love ContraPoints. I've watched tons of her videos, and that made me sad when I saw that tweet.
Mhm.
And like, and people have always told me that I'm really good at bringing out the best in people in interviews, and and especially what I did on my Discord server before I started streaming is I was really good at, I guess, conflict resolution. So I thought, like, oh my god, like I could totally help this. So like I responded to the tweet saying that I would love to, I would love to like talk to you, and maybe like I could help because I have a huge like a huge portion of my community are trans people, and maybe like we could figure something out, or just have like, because I really felt like I could make I could what's the word I'm looking for? But I could make people understand and be more sympathetic to her positions, and
Mhm.
kind of try to fix some of those conflicts that have happened between her and the trans community. Um and
Mhm.
anyway, so I made that tweet, and then like I got, I guess, ratioed. I just learned what that meant, but I got like super ratioed, and everyone got mad because they said that I was like taking advantage of someone's pain, to make like profit, or to like grift or something. When I was really just thinking simply like, I have this skill, I have this platform, maybe I can do something, you know.
Huh.
And
Yeah,
yeah, and I got
sometimes
like
also people
super a
just
lot of hate for that.
that's weird. Also sometimes I was just going to say people react really badly on the internet too. Sometimes like if they just if they misunderstand it, misread it, then they're going to just run with it.
Mhm.
But that
Well,
does kind of suck.
yeah, apparently it's like a faux pas. Like you're not supposed to, I guess, when someone tweets, when a content creator or something tweets that they're upset about something, like you're not supposed to ever suggest anything about you going on their show or content, or something, because it's just going to come off like you're trying to like profit, or clout chase or something.
Mhm.
But yeah, I didn't realize that, and yeah, I made a little fuck up. Have you
What
ever
can you
had
do?
like, yeah, have you ever had moments like that with other content creators?
Um Not really. I mean, once I asked Onision to come on my channel way back in like 2016, asked him if he wanted to come on his podcast on my podcast, and he responded "fuck off" or something. Um,
Sounds like Anicia.
yeah, exactly. But hold on, chat. Is my stream still up and running? Don't do this to me, internet that I pay way too much money for. Hold on. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
You're good?
Yeah, we're good. I saw something in chat that made me think it wasn't still on.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I've not really, and just because I never really like I'm not really friends with anybody on YouTube. Mainly because I never bothered to become friends with people. Like I've always seen it as mainly like I gotta just stick to myself and do my own shit, and I can't really be relying on other people on YouTube. Um, I had like some. No, I never really got into like a weird like faux pas like that, but that's just because I don't really interact with that many people
I
on
wonder if
platform.
you mentioning that like you stuck mostly to yourself, and you didn't really engage that much with like, your so-called coworkers or other content creators. Do you think that actually made it easier for you to kind of stick by your guns and your integrity when you changed, your mind, and like, and I mean, your channel has had some consequences for, sticking by that integrity. So like, I wonder if, do you think that like being kind of separated from them made it a little easier, like for you to just be yourself at the end of the
Um,
day?
to be honest, not really. I mean it may have, but there's no way of really knowing, I guess, since I wasn't really friends with them. I don't think that they played much of a role though in like influencing my opinions ultimately at the end of the day either. Um,
Mm,
just because yeah, it was just I recognized there were people that made content that was sort of similar to me, I guess people that I would consider in the same genre. Um, but yeah, no, it wasn't really. I mean, even when I actually was having my fallout with the alt right, this snaky little fuck named Joel Patrick, who people in my chat know who this guy is, um, he actually called me up on the phone, and he was somebody who I never considered these people like friends, because I kind of recognize that in this sort of world, like people are pretty much ready to throw you under the bus if it's gonna help them.
mm,
So with that in mind, like I never really trusted any of these people that much. Like they were always just acquaintances. But Joel Patrick was somebody who, when I was still right wing, I had brushed shoulders with enough times that I would have been like, yeah, he's kind of like a friend in the business, I guess. And then he called me up and he was like, hey man, just want to let you know that I got your back, dude. I saw what's happening. I just want you to know I got your back, man. And then like 2 weeks later, he was like getting mad at me and we were like yelling at each
Oh
other
God.
and stuff. And then he was calling me like an idiot for denying the censorship stuff and all this other kind of bullshit. But yeah, that's kind of how it is. That's how it kind of goes.
Yeah. No, does that lead to any kind of like trust issues that you've had with, I guess, some of the new people that you've been connecting to, like Vosh? Not Vosh specifically, but just like anyone that you start interacting with that's more on like the lefty or the centrist kind of side.
I don't know. I don't really interact with that many people. I mean, like I said, like I do think of Vosh. Vosh is probably the only person I would consider kind of like a friend. But I also like, you know, I because I enjoy his debate stuff, but I also kind of feel like I know him a little bit as a person because we've talked privately a few times, and it's kind of like, yeah, he's someone who's, I guess, my friend, but they're not people that I have like on YouTube that I consider friends that I'm like talking to like about a lot of personal stuff. Um, and I don't even think that's like, it's also because like I'm married, I guess, and I just
Hmm.
don't like, I have two
You
kids. I
think you're
have
in
my,
like a different life stage than a
you
lot of
like
other
not
content
even that,
creators?
that kind of sounds bad almost. I just mean that I have like everything I need right here. I got my wife, I have my two kids. I do my videos. Like I've kind of become much more of an introvert as I've gotten older. Um, and so yeah, now I'm content with very little friends, I guess, mainly because I'm busy. But yeah, also I don't really have a lot of friends on the YouTube platform, and I think that is ultimately because I recognize that yeah, you can't. It's not even that you can't trust them. It's not like I think that like anybody I talk to is gonna like stab me in the back necessarily, but it's just that like I don't want to be held down by a friend group who I like share views with and have to like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I totally understand that perspective. I have like this instinct that whenever I get like these like platonic crushes on people, where I meet someone and I'm just like, oh my God, I got to be friends with them. I got to be friends with them. They're so cool. And I've had experience recently with like a streamer where I met someone where I've watched their streams like a ton of times, being a huge fan, and I just was like so excited now that I was streaming that I could potentially get to meet them and talk to them and all that stuff. Um, and when I interacted with them, they were awful. Like they were like just privately, like they were incredibly mean
Hmm.
and cruel to me for like no reason. Um, and yeah, it was like a classic don't meet your heroes. So it's kind of like just
Right.
reminded me that yeah, you never yeah, people are a little different behind closed doors sometimes, depending on the content creator.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's something that I always have taken pretty seriously with my channel is I really try to make sure I'm being genuine on my channel. Like
Hmm.
the things that
It
I
comes
talk
through. It really comes through.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, the things that I say I believe, like that's what I believe. Like the things I talk about are usually things that I'm thinking a lot about when I'm not streaming or when I'm not making videos. So, yeah, that's something I've always taken really seriously with my channel since I've started doing politics. It's like I want to talk about what I believe in. That's the point of my channel is to have a platform where I can share my thoughts on stuff. Like I don't want to be confined to one box.
Yeah, I think that's really smart. Like, did you ever end up getting into any kind of drama with like another content creator?
Oh, of course. I mean, I get in drama all the time with other content creators. Absolutely.
What was one of the ones that really like upset you, if there was any?
None of them like upset me, but there was one where
Was there one that was like annoying?
I mean, the one where I think I took the biggest consequence from was probably when Caitlyn Bennett went after me, but I'd gone after her first, so it was kind of inevitable. Um
Mm,
but no, there was not really any like I'm trying to think. There was one time back in 2016 actually I kind of had it wasn't really drama with another content creator, but rather my audience. I made this comedy video which was holy shit. It was very racist. I'm not going to lie. Like it's down on the channel. I'm
mm,
not going to say what it was cuz I don't other people have uploaded it. I don't want people going to find it. I'm not going to say what it was, but I will just say that it was a skit that was supposed to be comedy, but it was pretty fucking racist. And my audience was even in 2016 at the time like my audience was mad at me for it and I was losing a good amount of subs for it. And I remember that time, that was a time where I had to think, I'm like, okay, do I take the video down? I don't want to, like, I'm not the type of person that because I'm getting hate, I'm going to delete a video. Like, I'm not going to do that shit. But I ultimately did decide to take the video down because I thought it's supposed to be a comedy skit and it's not like my genuine thoughts or opinions or beliefs on stuff, but rather it was like a really inflammatory, racist skit that was supposed to be comedic. So I did end up eventually taking that video down after a couple days because I just thought I was just like, you know what, it's not worth it for a fucking comedy thing. But I guess that would be the closest thing when I realized I was just like, that's it's just not worth it, I guess. But
Hmm.
when I was fighting with other content creators, no, I've had drama with a lot of different content creators, and I'm sure there will be more. But
Are there mostly other right wing like creators, or were
oh, I
they
mean,
like
back
left wing?
when I was on the right, I had a lot of drama with people who were on the left, I guess. I had a lot of beef with like Vegan Gains, for example. Um,
Oh yeah, I know him.
yeah, I had some beef with him, and then Caitlin Bennett though was yeah, I was still kind of like I was still on the right at the time, like I hadn't like made my video announcing that I had left the right, um, and yeah, I just did a video basically like a really well done takedown of her bad content, and then she did a response to me, which she is actually she's really like played a major role in spreading a lot of rumors about me and like about my personal life. Like they'll what did she say? She really contributed to that idea that like I sold out my channel and became like this raging SJW cuck or whatever. Like, and
Oh, so
it's
she's a conservative. Yeah,
oh
I don't know anything about her.
oh you don't know who Caitlin Bennett is?
No.
Oh, well, you're very lucky then. Okay, congratulations. I'm sure there are people in your chat that are saying, "Ew, Caitlin Bennett" right now because she is like the
Yeah, they
worst.
are. That's what they're saying.
Yep, yeah, and there might be some poop jokes in there too. But
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
yeah, she allegedly she like shit herself at a college party. Allegedly.
Oh my god. Sounds like a
There's
nightmare.
a picture going around. I do not genuinely don't know, and I don't think I want to know if it was her or not. It's just it's funny in and of itself. But yeah, then like she did a video response to me, I did a video response to her, and then it kind of died off from there. I still do some videos, not like responding to the drama or anything, but rather just I still do videos like taking down some of her content because her content's still just fucking abysmal.
Do you what like do you ever think about what stops you, I guess, from making, critical content and of other creators? Like, are
Nothing.
you ever worried?
I do it all the
Nothing? Like,
time.
you never get anxious about like the consequences or getting hate from their community or anything like that?
Oh. I mean, yeah, of course I have to weigh the risk, right? And decide like and for a little while now I've kind of been trying to have like a little bit of a no drama policy. I know that I
Mm.
really want to just stick to, I do like low key debates on my streams and I have like a little second channel where I'll put that and then my main channel I just want to focus on doing the social politics critiques and stuff like that. Um but yeah, there of course I have to weigh the risk and the benefits. There are some content creators though, like I remember me and Jacqueline Glenn are totally on like good terms now, by the way. I don't know if you know who she is.
Oh yeah, I
Um
do.
yeah, so we're totally cool on good terms now, but way back when I was still my cringy transphobic right wing or whatever, she did a video response to me when I only had like 10K subs. So I was like this tiny ass YouTube channel and I was getting like a fuck ton of hate from her channel which had like like 3 to 400,000 subs, right? So of course I'm going to get like a massive like backlash from that. And so although now, it's not as funny because I don't really agree with my response, but her video wasn't really very good, to be honest, either. Um,
Hmm.
but I basically just like took all the hate and then just waited until my channel was at like almost 200,000 subs. And then I did a response to her and got her like a fuck ton of backlash back. I don't know. So it's stuff like that. It's kind of, I think, funny or whatever. Kind of fun to get in. I like to get down and dirty and play the drama a little bit. But I also do recognize that sometimes it can just be a net negative for not only my channel, but also just for like my mental health. It's like I don't need to be fucking fighting with people constantly, and no matter what I say, their community's gonna hate me. Um, And so there comes a time where you just like you have to just stop drama with some people. Like you just have to be done with it.
Has like um this might sound like a weird question, but has having like you have two children now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has like that kind of I don't know if I want to say softened, right? But has that made you kind of like has that put things in perspective a little more and made dealing with that kind of um like how has that changed you in terms
Yeah,
of
I mean
just like being more mature and stuff?
I think it's helped with that. It's helped me be more mature. And it's also I think helped me be a little more empathetic and understanding um of just how like life circumstances plays so much of a role in so many things and not, I think it has helped
Mm-hmm.
me not be quite as like judgmental of like people, but I never really was that judgmental of a person like in my day-to-day life. That wasn't really how I was raised. It was more that on YouTube, I was very firm and harsh and everything. So I kind of, I guess, had that perception a little bit. Um, but yeah, I mean, my obviously having kids has changed me as a person a ton. As far as it changing my content, though, like other than it helping me be more understanding and empathetic and stuff towards like certain people, um, I'm not sure like how much it's like influenced my channel necessarily. Like I'm still it hasn't softened me to the extent of any extent that I'm not like I am by no means afraid to like of like confrontation or of like fighting with people or whatever if that's what you mean.
Can I ask like how that all happened? Like how did you because you're very young, right? How old are
I'm
you right now?
24.
Yeah, so like that so you're very young, like so like I think I'm 6 years older than you. And I'm like way less mature than you are. Um but when
Well, I
you
appreciate
like how
that.
did
I don't know if that's
no,
true, but
it
thank you.
comes through, right? Um the how did you kind of get how did you meet your part is she your wife now?
Yeah. Yeah, we're
Yeah, so
married.
how like can you tell me how you guys met and like I
Sure.
don't know. I'm a
Yeah.
sucker for that kind of like ooey gooey stuff.
Actually, we have a
So
very ooey gooey story then, so you're in for it. But
cool.
what's funny is so we were actually both raised pretty religious and pretty Christian. So we
Mhm.
actually met at church when I moved to the Frederick area in Maryland. We both met at church, and she was, I guess, like 2 years younger than me. So we were both really young. And I didn't really have I didn't have any interest in her like that, but I did. We were really good friends, and she actually had like a huge crush on me, which I didn't know until later on. And so what basically happened was we were really good friends, and she kind of had this crush on me and kind of kept it a secret. And then we grew up a little bit and just sort of went our separate ways. Like she went off to college, I started doing my YouTube, and I went to school, and then I had my job and everything, everything else. Life just kind of
Mhm.
came at it. We sort of grew up ourselves. And then we started hanging out again, and yeah, we just really hit it off. And from that point on, it just escalated and escalated, and now we're married with 2 kids. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Isn't that
And
kind of crazy?
yeah,
Like,
it's really quite cute to look back because like she's read like her journal entries to me where she's like, I saw Hunter today at church.
oh, that's cute.
It's really funny.
Because there's always that really nice feeling, like, like when you first get a crush on someone and you're always wondering, especially when you're younger and you're wondering, like, do they feel the same way? Do they not?
Yeah,
Um,
I remember how
and
that feeling.
yeah, and
Yeah,
like, and now you're literally married with kids and all of that stuff.
yeah, it's really cool. And having kids is really really great. I think that people they it is hard. I don't think that people like I don't like when I see people on Twitter acting like just have a fucking kid. Like it's hard to have kids and you got to be really responsible, but it's
Mhm.
also really really fun and like it's just so great just like getting to know these little people. Like it's really really cool.
Especially watching them grow,
Oh yeah.
like, is probably the most exciting thing. Like, how old are your kids right now?
My daughter she's a little over 2, and then my
Oh,
son, who is also named Hunter, but he goes by Will. Um, he actually just turned 1, so they're only a year apart, really.
those are like the best ages, you
I
know,
know they're so, and
like
they're
when they're
really
like
really cute.
toddlers.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, that's adorable. I find it so fascinating. I don't have kids myself yet, but like whenever I've been around like toddlers, it's just extraordinary. Like the rate in which they absorb new information and learn is like, I think it's like 300 times, adults. Like it's just,
Wow.
they learn so quickly, and it's like fascinating to watch.
Yeah, my daughter is like it was like first she was like barely talking, and then all of a sudden it's like she's saying like a ton of things. Like she'll repeat after us now. She says apple juice. She can sing her ABCs. Like it's so much fun watching them grow up.
What's your opinions like on those family channels? You know?
Oh, like the family vlogger channels?
Yeah, like where like they share everything about like, their family's life, and they take videos of everything that's going on and stuff.
I mean, I know you can it can get like into kind of weird territory considering like the children haven't necessarily consented to like being like put up on like a platform like that.
Mhm.
But I could also see on like I could also see it the other way around of I mean, if your kid's growing up and they're like able to go to college and live like a successful life because like you're doing vlog videos with them, like maybe there's a
Mhm.
positive there too. I think that you could look at it in different ways. But I do think that obviously like I'm sure you remember that like that drama a couple years ago with the Daddy 05
Oh yeah.
channel. Yeah, like that kind of shit. That's absolutely like appalling. Obviously, like Um, but
Yeah,
yeah.
like did you ever think of starting that like with your wife, um, you know, or did you think that the consequences were kind of too problematic?
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple little vlogs up that we've done. Um, but yeah, it wasn't even too problematic. It was just that that's just not what we're into. Like we're both really involved in politics and stuff like that. The vlog stuff was just not for us.
Oh yeah, I can imagine like you'd be trying to teach like politics to like your 1-year-old.
I
Wouldn't go over well.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think so. But I've had them on the
Um,
channel a couple times.
when you were like starting, if we go back to like when you started streaming, um, were there like any content creators that you really admired back then that now you're kind of much more skeptical of?
You mean back when I was like a right winger?
Hmm.
Oh, I mean there are some that I just like flat out hate. I mean like Sargon is a
But the
great
ones that you
example.
liked back then.
Yeah, like Sargon of Akkad, I thought he was really smart back in the day. I would go to school and during my lunch break, I would listen to like Sargon videos, and I thought he was like smart. Only I think it was only just the British accent, kind of like got to me there. But
He does. He speaks in a very posh accent too,
he
so
does.
I
He
understand.
Yeah, he definitely does. But I also think that some of these people, I think it's a mix of both. I think that they have unraveled a little bit more. Like Sargon, most people don't think of him anymore as like a fucking classical liberal. Come on. Like we all know what Sargon is. Um but like back then, I also think that they were a little bit more mask on still. And I don't know if maybe they've gotten more radical or maybe they were always that radical and are just letting it show more, but I think it's a mix of both. I think that a lot more people are realizing like, hold up, this person might be like these types of people might be saying they're classical liberals, but that doesn't really mean anything. And I think that on top of the fact that they're kind of unraveling or letting the mask slip or whatever is kind of contributing to more and more people realizing that like they're not just like people asking questions. Like some of these people are fucking neo Nazis.
So, in some ways, do you feel like you didn't really change so much as like it was really the right wing kind of just changed more? Like,
It was
um,
no, I definitely changed, but
okay.
the right changed also. Um, and I'd like it was weird too because the more that I walked away from the right, the more I felt confident in that decision because the more I would see how they were acting with various ways. And like, for example, like I'm glad that it didn't take until January 6th for me to be like, hey, I don't know if I support Trump anymore. Like, I was done with Trump a way back before that. Like, it didn't take that much
Mhm.
for me to fucking finally throw in the towel for Trump. So I don't know. I think that, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was January 6th was a moment where I saw a lot of Trump supporters just totally give him up.
And then a lot of
At least
them
like in my
didn't.
circles.
And then
A
some of
lot of
them,
them didn't. Yeah. No,
mm,
that is very true. Um, when you in your video with why I left the right, you mentioned that a huge part of it was like the ideological shift, was like losing that debate to Vosh. And you said point blank that you lost it, right? Do you think that like debate, I actually haven't watched that debate, but I've heard about it. Um, do you think that debate is a good way to change people's minds?
I actually haven't even rewatched it yet because I don't know if I want to watch myself like lose a debate yet. But no, I think that the Vosh debate was one of those things where people overemphasize it for sure. Of course, like you have the people that are like, "Ha, Hunter lost a debate to a fat communist, and then he gave up all of his beliefs." Like they'll say stuff like that, but it's like it was more of like what I said. I was kind of already in that place where I'd realized how wrong I was about some other things that I'd felt really strongly about, and then with the Vosh thing, like Vosh had been calling me out, and then I responded to him, and writing that response was like one of the hardest videos I had written because Vosh's arguments are good. And
Mm,
so I was like, it was just a tough video for me to write. And so when he was like pushing me on debating, I was just like, because I didn't do debate then, and I'm still not very good at debate. So like, and I'd seen him, like I knew that Vosh knew how to debate. Um, so I was definitely a little nervous going into the discussion to begin with, if I'm being fair.
mhm.
But yeah, it wasn't like I ended the debate and was like, well, I guess I'm a socialist now. Like it was, it more just made me think. I was like, huh, there are some of these positions I had that when challenged, they don't seem so good. And there was just some arguments that I remember he made that I just could not refute. Like when I was responding to him, like there was one really good one I liked where I was one of my old like transphobic videos. I was like talking about like some like non-binary sex worker was like licking a toilet seat or something, and I made the like super cringy argument that like this is making the LGBT community look bad. Um, and then I remember Vosh's response was something like, "Yeah, well, every time you see like a Florida man fuck an alligator, you're not gonna say that that makes all white men look bad." And then I like just that putting it in
Yeah.
that perspective. I was like, that's actually a
He has a way of putting things.
yeah. I was like, that's actually a good point. Every trans person or whatever, they're not like a homogenous group, just like white men aren't a homogenous group. I don't know. It was just like little things like that that it wasn't like I saw it and just like changed my mind instantly, but it kind of like planted the seeds.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Like, was there, besides that, like, were there any other arguments, that like kind of really convinced you in that debate? Or
I'm
was it just the alligator thing?
no, there were also some ones where like he brought forward some studies and stuff. That's why like he brought I'm pretty convinced by like I like the empiricism side of things a lot. So whenever I get like a study thrown my way that is like seems pretty substantial and in support of their arguments, I always find that to be like relatively compelling. And so there was some of that too, like a lot of what he was talking about. That was interesting. And then also I was talking about how I don't like authoritarianism, but then
Mhm.
he was kind of calling me out for being okay with like state oppression of trans people, he would call it. But it was like an argument over the bathroom policies, like should trans people be able to use the bathroom of their choice. um I would have to go back and rewatch the debate to be honest, but there were a few different arguments like that I can still remember that were just kind of really made me rethink a lot of my positions. And like I said, I was kind of already in that mindset. It just happened at the right time. Vosh was kind of like he was the person to debate me at the right time. And then he also, after I debated him, I did start watching some of his content. And the first video I watched of his after I debated, it was the perfect video for me to just like accidentally or just choose to watch. And it was him responding to Red Ice TV, which was like, I don't know if you know who they are. They're banned from YouTube now, but they're like a pretty obvious neo-Nazi channel. Um, and so watching him go through that, I think was really good because it made me realize like, hold up, that's something I can agree with him on right off the bat. Like seeing them be like, what's wrong with white people wanting to live by white people? Like, come on, dude. Like that kind of shit. Like
Yeah.
right away, I was able to kind of side with Vosh already in that instinct in that instance. And from there, yeah, it just kind of led me to continue doing my own research. I would have a lot of conversations with Carissa. We would talk about stuff. We were both kind of in the same like political sphere, and like we
And
kind of
Chris is your wife, right?
yeah, yeah. And so it was just a lot of conversations, a lot of like reflection. It was honestly a really interesting thing.
There's like, because we can't take back anything we say on the internet. Like we can apologize and all that stuff, but once you put something out there, as you know, like it's out there. So do you like um and this is kind of like a personal question. So if you don't feel comfortable answering, it's totally fine. Um, but like, do you ever feel, I guess, guilty about the stuff that you said? Like,
Um,
like to a
it's a
point
fair
that it really
question.
bothers you?
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some times where when I read comments from people, and it truthfully does make me feel guilty. Um, but I try not to get like hung up on that because although like a good example would be that I've seen people comment before and say that like they're really thankful to see that I've denounced my transphobic views and that like my videos played a role with like keeping them in the closet, for example. Like comments like that
Yeah, that's gotta
absolutely
hurt.
yeah, like that comments like that absolutely make me feel guilty, but I also recognize that like it was something I said, it was something I believed at the time. I recognize now why it was wrong. I have arguments for why it was wrong and I can argue my position. Um and so like the only thing I can really do now is move forward and deconstruct those videos and try to reduce the harm that I originally caused. And that's kind of what I'm doing now. Is my content has shifted. I really try to prioritize like the nuance and arguments and in discussions and everything. I'm not afraid to talk about like yeah my pro Second Amendment positions or things that some people might consider right wing, but I'm also not afraid to talk about my more left wing positions on like LGBT stuff now. So yeah.
So do you think that that is like a huge push for you now as a content creator? Because I mean, content creators as a whole, like we always have to have something that's pushing us, whether it's like money or or politics or some kind of like integral thing that we're trying to do. The like is one of the main things that you're trying that's pushing you is kind of like that need to make amends for, what you've said in your past?
Not I mean, not entirely. Like, if I'm definitely not like motivated by guilt or anything like that, but rather
Mhm.
that like I recognize that my arguments were just wrong. Like, and I do recognize that the wrong arguments cause harm, of course, but um, yeah, no, my more my motivation comes from just recognizing that it's wrong and feeling like I have a better understanding now and a better argument as to why it was wrong. That's usually where I kind of go from. I'm not really motivated, yeah, by like guilt or anything else. Although I do
I
recognize
I
the
think that's probably the
importance.
healthier,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
the
I also
healthier attitude.
recognize the importance of like, denouncing those harmful views. And that's why I think it's like, I think, for example, it's like way better to debunk my stuff than it would have been for me to like do like some like half-assed, like, I'm sorry, everybody, or
Yeah,
whatever. Like,
apology video. Yep.
yeah, like that's kind of like cringy and doesn't really do anything. But where like, you know, I can I can make an insincere apology video, or I could actually like deconstruct the video and explain why the arguments are bad. And overall, I definitely think that that's like a much better approach.
I think it's more practical, and I think it's just better at harm reduction in general. Like if you're just thinking about like overall harm caused versus harm taken away and all that stuff from like utilitarian kind of perspective.
Yeah.
Um, the I guess like if you look back like at your career, like overall, are you happy that you got into YouTube? Do you regard it as still like a good decision?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm definitely really thankful to be doing YouTube. And even though my viewership is like way down since leaving the right, like I'm not really as worried about that because it's kind of like what I said is like this channel exists for me to talk about what I believe. And if I'm up here just peddling things I don't believe for like what a paycheck or views or whatever, like it's just I wouldn't be able to do it. Like I just wouldn't be able to do that long term.
Well, I think that's how creators get really burnt out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're not being genuine. Like, and it can be really profitable to not be genuine. Like as you mentioned, like appealing to the right, at least like on YouTube and in a lot of places, it's like economically very beneficial,
And it works
right?
so well because a lot of conservatives are just so dumb. Like I hate to say it
Hmm.
like that, but like they'll just take these things like Tucker Carlson, man, is like Jesus Christ to some of these people. And it's like, you point out that Tucker Carlson's lawyers like tried to defend him against a lawsuit by saying that no one takes him seriously or that he's satire, and like you bring that up and it's just like something's not connecting there. I don't know. It's just, yeah, I think that it's very easy to not even necessarily, I don't think it's just the right. I think it's really economically, like it's really profitable to appeal to any far or like more radical side. I think that like if you're appealing to the far left, like there is money to be made there. And if you're appealing to like
Hmm.
conservatives or the not so much the far right, I guess, because they're banned a lot, but conservatives for sure, like the Fox News, Glenn Beck kind of side of things for sure.
Yeah.
I just think that it's that, and like if you look at how social media works, for example, like people tend to react way more with content that's either far left, far right. They don't like the nuanced sort of center approach. So I recognize that like for me to be in the political on the line where I am, that might cost me some viewership also. But oh well, like I'm not going to go like sell out to the left or the right, you know?
Yeah, I'm there too. And it's very frustrating how, like, people call me a centrist all the time. And I don't really think I'm a centrist, but I get called that a lot, so maybe that's what I am. I don't know. Um, but like how people think that it automatically means that you're not taking a side or
Mm-hmm.
that you're fence sitting or something, when so often like you are taking very firm sides. You just like are trying to look at things in a more like fair and complex kind of way. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, and that doesn't mean that you look at everything like that, right? Like obviously I'm not going to see racism in a super nuanced way when like there's like a racist attack on someone.
Right.
um but you can at least like you can at least like think critically about other stuff. And it's very frustrating how like people have especially I've seen this on the left all the time, like people just shit on anyone who is just a little bit nuanced about their perspective.
Yeah.
um like even like Israel Palestine or any kind of politics. It's like, yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely agree with you there.
The So you would identify as a centrist now?
I guess, yeah, I think online I'd be considered a centrist. I think in like by American standards, maybe I guess I'm a social democrat because yeah, I want there to be like bigger social safety nets. And I think that a lot of the problems we're dealing with can still be solved within our current like economic system with regulation.
Yeah. What was your opinion on because I noticed that you supported us raising money for PCRF and all that stuff. Like, so what's your opinion on like the whole Israel Palestine thing?
Oh, I can't get into that. I'm sorry. That's something that I recognize that it is a very complicated issue, and it is not something I've researched even nearly enough to give a fair answer.
Well, too bad, because you didn't just call out, you didn't just call out genocide. You're going to immediately get canceled for this. I'm just warning you.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's been really frustrating that like I do history on the subject, um and even though I try to be like really really critical and give a nuanced like portrayal, I still get called like like on one side I get called like an Israel stan, on the other side I get called like a self-hating Jew, and it's very frustrating.
That is really
But that's being an online content creator. What as Since you've been doing this for so much longer than me, like what is, I guess, if I could ask you for like just one bit of really important advice, what would you give me?
oh
As like
shit.
a veteran in this world.
I don't know if I'd consider myself a veteran in this world at all, because half the time I feel like I'm still just figuring it out too. Um, um, God, what I would say is definitely be consistent, and
Mhm.
once you find content that you enjoy making, but that also is working. I think that sometimes people like there it's really weird because something that I kind of have a hard time with even now is because YouTube is my job, right? Like I have to look at it somewhat like a business. Like what's going to
Mhm.
work, right? Like I'm not doing it for the money, but of course the money plays a role there. It's my job. Um but then I'm like, okay, but I want to be genuine. I'm not going to just go like do whatever I fucking can to make money. So some of it's like finding that line of being like, okay, what's content that I genuinely enjoy making and genuinely believe in, but that also is working for the platform and working for the channel, right? Um,
Yeah.
that would maybe be one thing I would say is, and then once you find what seems to be working, sometimes just sticking to it, just keep on sticking to it. That can really, really help. Um, but also I would say like don't be afraid. I guess this almost sounds contradictory, but also don't be afraid to change as well. It's what's really hard is there is no like very specific concrete like way to do it because as obviously as you're building an audience, you're building it for a certain type of content, but you don't want to box yourself in one side, but you also don't want to like ruin your viewership. So a lot of it is just ultimately just taking caution and really thinking through like what kind of content do I want to make, or if this seems to be working, is how are there ways that I could maybe expand this? That would be more from like a business perspective. And then as far as for like a mental health perspective, just it's so easy to say ignore the hate. I mean, I get hate a fuck ton, so I know that it's like you can't just ignore it. But there are some things I do to try to help myself just avoid it. Like sometimes in the morning, I'll just purposely avoid like looking at my like YouTube app because it gives me like comments and everything and tells me like updated comments. And sometimes it's like when I first wake up in the morning, I don't need to see a comment telling me that I'm like a piece of shit. Like maybe I just need a
Yeah.
second to wake up, you know? So it's okay to like just I guess ignore the hate is so easy to say, but I don't know. I'm kind of rambling because I don't really have any like specific like
No,
quick
honestly,
advice.
it ramble away because everything you're saying right now feels like gold to me. Because
Oh
yeah,
well.
again, I feel super lost like in this entire world. I got thrown into it, and yeah, it's a little overwhelming.
No,
So,
I completely understand that. Yeah, it's and I know you already talked about dealing with some hate. So like it's
mm,
just for me what it really comes down to is first I usually have to ask myself like why am I getting the hate, right? Okay, if I'm getting a bunch of hate like for example, I went on Tim Pool's podcast a little while ago and I did really badly. It was like a really embarrassing performance for me. So of course I got hate then, right? So like okay, that kind of hate, I can recognize that I did bad there. So I already recognize it. Okay. Like, I already know that I fucked up that debate. I don't need to read 1,000 comments from people who already hate me and no matter what I would have done, would have told me I did bad at the debate, telling me I did bad at the debate. Like, I just don't need it. You know what I mean? But there's also times where you can sometimes learn a little bit from hate. So, like, if you're getting like a really consistent comment about something. Like some people have told me like, I interrupt people a lot. And that's actually true. When I debate, I interrupt too much. So that's something
mm,
I can learn from and try to do better, right? But there's also sometimes where you might just be getting hate because people simply disagree with you. But if you're confident in the position you've taken or the take that you've had, then in times like that for me, then I just sit back and enjoy it. I'd rather have people saying my name with disgust than not saying my name at all. Like, yeah, fine. Shit all over me. But you can believe what you want about me, but what I said about like trans people here, or like, taking a pro trans rights position here, like I'm right. I can defend my position and I have, and they're just mad and butthurt. So sometimes you just literally have to just leave the haters. Or what I do is sometimes I kind of enjoy it. I see it as like a bit of a sign of relevance. It's like I'm important enough to somebody for them to fucking hate me. That means you're doing something
yeah,
right.
that's what I really need to learn. I need to learn to enjoy it. Like
Well,
enjoy the
somewhat, but
notoriety
also
sometimes.
there's also times though where like hate can get really exhausting. Like and a lot of the times for me is like if I already recognize that I did like a bad performance during like a debate or if this video wasn't that good or whatever, like if I already recognize that, then I don't usually the hate then I don't need to I just don't need it because I already kind of recognize where I fucked up. And then that kind of stuff will just make me feel worse. So I don't block people or ban them or anything. I just turn my phone off and ignore it. I don't know.
Um, I've asked a lot of content creators that question, and that is probably the most like you follow your creed because that was like the most like nuanced and best answer I've gotten
Oh, well, thank you.
for that from another content creator. So like thank you for that. I literally took notes. So
Wow, well, I
yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank
That
you.
was just off the top of my head. Maybe I can think of
Well, cause
something a
like,
little
there's
better.
no guide online for this. Like, I looked up guides, like, how to handle being a public figure, right? Like, and all of this stuff, and all the guides are how to get to being a public figure and how to grow.
Yep.
They're not about how to deal with it in a healthy and responsible way. Like, there's nothing. So,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I completely understand that. And I mean, I'm still kind of in the same boat. Like there's still stuff I'm trying to figure out too, you know? Like I mean, right now I'm in a whole new battle of my own kind of just because my viewership's like way down, you know, I've lost a huge chunk
Mhm.
of my viewers considering I had like a massive conservative audience. So, yeah, like I
So
recognize
now you need to find, like, your own audience for your new views and
yeah,
stuff,
I'm
right?
literally basically like finding a new audience now. So, yeah, that's but yeah, I mean overall it's just kind of got to stick to what you enjoy doing, you know.
Well, I
Um,
am sure my viewers are gonna love watching you. Um,
well, I
yeah,
appreciate
because
it.
like the way you came off today, and like I really 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 admire someone who can look back and say what they did was wrong, and especially now that I can see what being an online content creator is like and dealing with the mob, being able to say that when there's a mob in front of you, right? That takes courage,
I
especially
appreciate
when
that.
it could hurt you, like it hurt you like economically and stuff, so you've got some convictions, and I think like anyone who's watching here can just will automatically admire you for that.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for having me on, by the way.
Oh, no problem. Like, yeah, it's honestly such an honor to get to talk to you. I remember watching your videos like years ago, so it's cool to see how you've changed and grown and all of that stuff. Um, and yeah, I just hope that if I ever fuck up or all that stuff, I hope I have the same kind of convictions and the courage to also look back and try to make amends and stuff for that. But yeah, thanks so much for coming. Do you want to say like to my viewers like when you normally stream and all that stuff?
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you again for having me on Aristocracy. I appreciate it. And to my viewers, you guys can subscribe to Aristocracy on Twitch and YouTube. Both links are in my description down below. And yeah, my you can find me over at my YouTube channel, just Hunter Avalone. I usually post like 3 to 4 times a week, and then I usually just stream once or twice a week. Not that many streams right now. I'm kind of a video/stream channel. I have a secondary channel though where my stream segments will be posted afterwards. So yeah, but yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
Cool. Well, thanks for coming, and I hope you good luck on your debate. I think you're doing a debate right after this, right?
yeah. I'm gonna talk
Uh,
to some guys about some LGBT stuff, so that'll be fun.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay, that'll be fun to see. Yeah, good luck on that.
thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Bye. All right, that was nice. It's always so nice, you know, to have like wholesome, friendly conversations before we go and yell at some fuckers. Just kidding. I know we got some super chats here. Double Sauce, thanks for the 5. What happened to Hot Tub Hunter? Oh, yeah. I should be getting a thing from them soon. Hunter's gonna get destroyed again. Yep, that's me going in to get wrecked. Big Mac, thanks for the 5. What do you think about the Kink at Pride discourse being a sci-pop created by people on 4chan? It was not just a sci-pop or whatever created by people on 4chan. There are some people that are taking advantage of the discourse to malign gay people as pedophiles, for sure. But generally speaking, I think that we can all agree that the main event of Pride should absolutely be family friendly, because there are people who might be in the closet who need an environment where they can go. They might be under the age of 18. They need an environment where they can go and be accepted. Hunter's pretty hot, not gonna lie. Thank you. Finally, somebody recognizes it. Okay, chat, listen, I'm going to go use the bathroom really quickly. So please don't go anywhere, okay? If you guys want to put something in the super chat, now's the time, okay? I'll come back to you a little present. But yeah, before I get on this debate here, I got to go pee. So, sorry. Be good, chat. You be good, okay? You know what? You guys are now you're the main focus, okay? Don't say anything bad. I'm serious because I will be banning everyone who says I will look at the logs, okay? Have you all been good? Oh, wow. We got a present to come back to. How fucking nice. Sorry, chat. You're no longer the center of attention. Lily Bloom, goodness, thank you so much for the $30 donation. Holy shit. Welcome back from the restroom. Thank you. I had a very nice time peeing. Lily Bloom, also thank you for the $10. Hunter X Hunter here. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I heard the toilet flush. No, you didn't. I had the mic muted, you cuck. Get out of here. All right. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and rename it now. Damn, Lily Bloom, another $10? We weren't good. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Chat, don't make me come up there. Thank you so much for the donation, Lily Bloom. And to people watching, I know that sometimes it's like, you know, if I'm in the middle of a debate or doing an interview or something, it might look like I'm not going to get to your message. But if you enjoy the conversation, if you enjoy the stream, if you enjoy the debates, feel free to put something in the super chat. I will make sure to read all super chat donations, even if it is after the debate. I will read super chat donations. I will make sure to get to every single one of them. So yeah, we should be getting the invite to join the debate here soon. Let's see. All right, hold on. I have some topics for us to cover. What's this? Oh, I have a Michael Knowles thing over here too. So y'all remember QAnon? Remember those little chuckle fucks? Because I remember. I wish I didn't, but I remember. But anyway, you guys remember QAnon Shaman? Remember this dude? I know you all do, but I'm going to show a picture anyway because there might be one person who doesn't. This guy. Wait, what the? This guy right here, yeah. Also known as Bikini Chewbacca. So yeah, he played a huge role in breaking into the Capitol building on January 6th. He was there, rioting, trying to undermine our country's founding principles. And his lawyers appear to be getting really, really desperate to defend him. Like, they're desperate here. I mean, we got all this photographic evidence here of this dude, like, just going ape shit. So they're scraping rock bottom. His lawyers have got to try and get him out of this mess. So here's what we have. They've released a video of the QAnon shaman stopping a muffin theft during the Capitol riot. Admittedly, I was not sure if this was even like a real story because it sounds so fucking bizarre, but it's real. We are in a simulation, my friends. I've been trying to tell y'all. Hold on. Let me pull this up. I got to show you the video. And let's try and go ahead and take the the lawyer approach here. Listen, guys. Maybe this dude committed a little eeny weeny teeny tiny crime of breaking and entering into the Capitol building. Participating in treasonous behavior. But listen, sometimes in the face of evil, you choose to do good. And that is what Mr. Jake QAnon Shaman has done. He stopped a horrific theft from occurring. Here is that footage. Peaceful riots. Got him. Wow. I tell you, man, sometimes I lose hope in this world, and then stuff like this, man. It just gives me hope, you know? He's like, yo, we may have busted into the Capitol building. We may have just committed a bunch of federal crimes, but no motherfucker is stealing a muffin on my watch. I mean, pretty much, that's what happened here. He's like, yo, breaking and entering the Capitol building, that's one thing. Stealing a muffin, that's a whole other thing. It's just like they broke into the Capitol building. And they show them. Wait, where's the story? So it was made public as a part of a motion seeking the release of QAnon Shaman, whose real name is Jacob Chansley. The video, entitled "Jake Stops Muffin Stealing," shows Chansley in his horned hat walking down the Capitol corridors with others who stormed the building. The clip then pans to show a man entering a break room with Chansley repeatedly shouting "Hey" at him in an apparent attempt to stop him taking a muffin. There are good people around us, okay, guys? The defendant's counsel provided to the government video footage depicting defendant Chansley during his January 6, 2021 visit to the Capitol, thwarting a crime. Your Honor, yes, I broke into that person's house to kill them, but in the midst of that, I told somebody that they should stop breaking into the house to steal the television. That, Your Honor, is why I should be let go. He thwarted a crime. Man, we got a modern day superhero over here. His costume might need some work. He was one of the most prominent and recognizable people seen during the insurrection. He previously used the muffin defense as evidence he was not committing a crime at the Capitol, telling CBS 60 Minutes that he was merely attempting to bring God back into the Senate. Oh yeah, I remember that. We talked about that. That's right. Yeah. That's right. QAnon Shaman. That was his big thing. He was going to go over there and do a little seance or something, right? Try to bring God back to the Senate. Well, there you guys go. Can we watch it one more time? It's just, it brings a tear to my eye, you know? So bold. Hey, yo, stop. What are you doing, man? We're about to go get to Nancy Pelosi's office. Don't steal a muffin. You can steal the damn laptop. Whatever. These QAnon fuckers, dude. You almost feel bad for them, and then you don't. All right, where's my thing, man? Come on. Are these guys not going to show? Wouldn't that suck? You knew 8 p.m. does not work. All right. Jacob is cool. Thank you for the $5 donation. What do you think of the UFO report that will be finished by late June? It will be declassified. COVID was made in a lab also. Well, I know that there is some potential risk that COVID may have come from a lab leak, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there, yeah? It's being investigated. What I reject, though, is that there are all these, like, people like Obama and all these people that were, like, involved in it. Hunter, what did you eat for lunch? What did I have for lunch? I had pizza. Like the fat boy that I am. Come on, man. Where is the fucking guy? I'm gonna just blow up his phone. Debate me, bitch! Well, I guess we're just gonna be... I guess we can go over something else. I am getting salty, I admit. So how's everybody doing today? Hunter, what's your favorite fruit? Probably none. Fauci said it was a possibility. Yeah, I mean, it could have literally, like, escaped from a lab. Who are you going to debate? I might still be debating them. I mean, they were supposed to do it right at 8. So, I mean, they might just... It's not a conspiracy anymore. All right, well, anyone else want to get into the Discord? All right, I came here to debate, and I'm not... I saw someone in my chat a little while ago was like, someone named Conservative something or another, and he said he wanted to debate me about big tech censorship. How do you feel about Candace Owens? Do you want me to answer that? Because I'm feeling pretty nauseous right now just thinking about Candace Owens. Yeah, I don't know if these guys are gonna show up. Maybe they were too scared. I want to debate you about homosexuality in the Bible. I'm sick and tired of your soy boy propaganda, Hunter. Okay, bitch, get in the Discord. See if you'll say that to my face. There's a link right down below.
Rat plague in Australia.
Yo, guys, just to say we are live, so make sure you're being appropriate, please. How's everyone doing?
Pretty good.
You good?
I think I'll let everyone else talk. I'm usually the one who usually talks on Discord a lot, but I think I'll see the other spicy takes that are on here.
Be fun.
Are there already
I'm just
people in
here
here
to
that want to
listen.
argue about stuff?
Argue about what?
I don't know. I was supposed to have a debate with someone, and I don't know if they're showing up.
You just want to have a casual conversation?
Yes, it's quite sad.
No,
I was hoping to
I
hear you
want
do
someone
that.
who despises me here to come over here and tell me how much they hate me. Just kidding.
Hunter, orange juice or apple juice?
Get out of here. Ban that guy. No, just kidding.
Oh, that's actually a very good question.
What's the Jewish question?
Do you actually not know what the Jewish question is, or are you asking that?
I actually don't.
Oh, it's the conspiracy theory that Jews like control the media and are trying to like and like the country and everything else, and they're trying to like wipe out white people.
Yes, I've hear that conspiracy.
Oh my,
theory
that
a
sounds
lot.
very interesting.
Have you guys seen what happened in Australia with the rat plague? Holy shit, it's insane.
What? There's a rat plague?
Yeah, in Australia. Holy shit, it's like
A bit
in
of
the
a more
farmers there.
casual argument, like, should we keep pit bulls as pets?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if they're sure.
I don't see a reason not to.
Like,
Can you
some of them are, like,
domesticate
some of
any
the
animal?
greatest
Like, why do people hate? Like, I don't get it. I don't get.
I think we should domesticate
Wait,
sharks.
wait.
That's my hot take.
Wait, are
Well,
you
you
talking
can't
about the
domesticate
argument?
every animal, like reptiles.
Yeah, I
you
was
can't
about to
really,
say that.
you can't really do that.
I mean, it is possible to domesticate tigers, but that's extremely expensive. I mean, look how much meat you have to give them.
I
I'll be
mean,
right back.
domesticate.
All right. Have you seen the disturbing movie? Wait, what? I just checked Wikituber and I didn't know that you became nice, LMAO. Am I gonna have to just start blowing up these motherfuckers' phone? Am I getting stood up right now? God, guys. I mean, getting stood up on a date is one thing, but stood up on a debate? Holy shit. That cuts deep. Hey, I saw some other cuck. Yes, St. J, the propaganda machine hunter Avalone. Why aren't you getting in my Discord, man? Now's your chance. Now's your chance to say that to me. Get Beardson on? No. I'm not getting Beardson on again. I don't need to hear some demonic screeching from some menopausal fuckhead. I don't need it right now. I'm like a salty dude right now because I just got stood up on my debate. And they said that they were available. And now 6 minutes late? I mean, good God. I've been reading up on IQ. Cool. No show for a debate is so unprofessional. They might still get here. Maybe. Call them. You know what? Maybe I would. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to call them. I think they don't like me anymore. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna do another thing. I guess we can look over Michael Knowles. Sorry, guys. I hope they're not dead. You know, I hope they're okay. Damn, no answer. Okay, we'll go ahead and change the title there. Hunter, is there another way I can debate you because I don't understand how Twitch works? I mean, you can literally just jump onto the Discord. Hold a movie night on stream. Yeah, that's a surefire way to get copyrighted. I'm not falling for that one. Jacob is cool. Thanks for the $2. What's your stance on the atheist moral problem? Is that the whole, like, atheists can't have morals because you need God to have morals bullshit? Hunter, I'll debate you on the legitimacy of Canada as a country. Wow, thank you. That sounds like a very spicy one right now, but I don't know. I know it. I'm just sitting here for a second. Discord is in description. Yes, that's true. Okay, well. What can you do? I changed the title, so if anybody wants to donate to me and help me make me feel better, that would be helpful. Saint J, thanks for the $2. I was being ironic about the propaganda machine. Hey, Saint Saint J, I knew that, buddy. I was being ironic back. Got him. You know what? Someone brought up Karen, and I gotta show you guys this fucking clip that went viral, I think today. She was even hold on. Just give me the video. I don't give a shit about any of your reporting or anything else. Thank you. So yeah, this video popped off today. This video went viral. I don't know if you guys saw this. Wait, this was from yesterday. Okay, maybe I'm just a boomer still behind on my news. Yeah, but this went viral. A literal woman going fucking apeshit at the airport, even demanding to speak to the manager. We literally have a Karen demanding to speak to the airport manager. Gone viral. So, I mean, come on. Doesn't get more stereotypical than that.
He threw me to the ground! My name is Terry M. Booz! I'm right the manager of the fucking airport here!
That's not gonna happen.
Who saw him choking? Who saw him choke me to the ground? Who saw me?
I saw
I didn't see anything, by the way.
you run through the door when you weren't supposed to,
He
and I saw him
me
push
to
you
the
out
ground!
the door.
You deserve it!
I'm pretty sure you're
In a
mistaken.
dress!
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo! You fuck off!
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. What the hell?
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo! You fuck off!
Boo-hoo. You fuck off. She sounds so offended. Holy shit. So yeah, it sounds like she's claiming that she was like choke slammed or something when in reality she was just in a restricted area. I don't think she was ever choke slammed.
You deserve
I'm
it!
pretty sure you're
In a
mistaken.
dress!
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo! You fuck off!
Excuse me?
I want the manager of the airport here!
My
Is there like such a, is there even such a thing as an airport manager? Is there like a single manager for the airport? Come on. She sounded so mad. She was like, "Boo-hoo, you fuck off." Wait. Is there airport managers? Wait, okay, hold up. Guys, Karen might have been in the right here. Yeah, there are airport managers. And we can actually read about a day in the life of an airport manager. Hunter, can I debate you through Skype? Hey, Ux quick, buddy, just get into the Discord. There's a link down below. If not, come over here on YouTube and click the link in the YouTube thing. Shitty Economist, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Fierce Deity, thank you so much for the $5. Yo, me and my friend are big fans, Hunter. Mind saying happy birthday to my friend Nick Gers. Oh, you're a cuck right now. God damn. Fuck you. Fierce Deity. God. See, this is the problem why I can't ever trust you fuckers. God damn it. And I was still, you know what? Can we ban this guy and still keep the money? God, fuck you. I can't believe I first I get stood up on my debate. Now I fall for this thing. Man! Hunter's about to be canceled again. Oh, God. I didn't even read it because it was spelled different. Man, I'm having a rough stream right now. When I get stood up and have like no direction here, I end up aimlessly just falling for all sorts of bullshit. Oh God, that's so getting up on my fucking. That's gonna go. Dankmaster25, thank you for the $2. Disturbing movie iceberg opinion. Not sure what that movie is. Never heard of it. Yintech, thank you for the 99 cents donation. Am I getting baited here also, or now I'm going to be hyper careful here? Is it a short? Is it from 2005? What? I don't know. Video game time. I really didn't think that would work. It's okay, Hunter, I'm black. Okay, fuck off. Just stop. Oh, wait, hold on. All right, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and just look over Michael Knowles really quick. So, you know how when we talk a lot about like pronouns and stuff, we talk about how people changing their pronouns, it's kind of like, in a way, like how you can change your name a bit, right? Like, I don't want to compare like gender to names because there's a lot more to gender than like just a name, but in the sense that it's socially constructed all the same. So you'd think that like that's pretty easy to agree with. Obviously, like, yeah, you can change your name pretty easily. Well, Michael Knowles now is apparently even against that. Even changing your name. Mr. Authoritarian, freedom-loving Michael Knowles, not a fan.
The big delusional ideology that is being pushed right now by the liberal establishment, it's not just by the blue-haired radicals on the crazy college campus in the middle of nowhere. This is an ideology being pushed by the biggest corporations, the biggest tech.
He said ideology, so he's instantly wrong.
Platforms and the government itself. Transgenderism.
This ideology. Trans people being real. It's being pushed by everyone. Everywhere we look. It's like I just can't run away from the truth any longer. How many people need to like tell, like, just, I wonder, I don't know. Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves here.
It's not, don't forget, you've got major companies all waving the transgender flag. Did you know there's a transgender flag? Apparently there is.
This bitch talks politics and doesn't know there's a fucking trans flag? Dude, are you kidding me right now? My G. Apparently, did you guys know there's such a thing now as a transgender flag? What? I mean, come on, Michael. At least try to like keep the boomer hidden a little bit, man.
And this is, everyone's celebrating this sort of thing. The actress Ellen Page, who is now calling herself Elliot. But, I think I'm going to stop doing this. I think I'm going to stop indulging in the name changes. Because we, for a long time, have said, we're not going to indulge in the pronouns because I'm not going to call her him. You can't force me to lie.
Oh, I love this one. You're forcing me to lie. How dare you? Listen, the truth of the matter is we don't go based on genitals or chromosomes for how we determine how we are going to refer to people. We just don't. You can go like whine about it all you want. What it is that people with vaginas and people with penises have certain gendered expectations placed on them for how they should act and behave in a society. Joker face. So yes, I think that it's pretty easy to recognize
that we're not going to indulge in
that when Michael Knowles is like talking about like I'm going to indulge in the lie or whatever, Michael Knowles already he already respects people's gender identity. He already does that. When I've used this example a bunch of different times, but like when you walk into a crowded bar or into a mall or whatever, you know who is a woman and who is a man based on how they are presenting themselves, not based on their genitals. I'm sorry, Michael. I know, considering you're a Republican, you probably would love the thought of running up and like grabbing people's genitals or whatever, but that's just not how we determine these things. You determine who is a woman and who is a man based on their social roles and characteristics. So when trans people like Elliot, well, let's actually pull the picture up really quickly. I mean, come on. That's like that. That looks like a guy. That looks like a man. That's Elliot Page. Like, you would refer to him as a he, him. Even Ben Shapiro has acknowledged this when he had his conversation with Blair White. He was like, yeah, pronouns are meant to form a utilitarian use, and so I would have to abide by their pronouns that best describe them, regardless of what I may truthfully believe or whatever, because everybody knows that you can't go into a crowded restaurant and be like, yeah, hi, I'm sitting with that person over there, him over, it is a him, because you see he has the male chromosomes and a penis, but presents as a woman and identifies that way. But like, no, nobody does this shit. We all go on social roles and social characteristics. It's just how it is. So no one's forcing you to lie, Michael. By you referring to Ellen or Elliot Page as a like her is actually you lying. You're the one that like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't like even describe that person accurately.
It's not, don't forget, you've got major, and this is everyone's celebrating this sort of thing. There is. And this is everyone's celebrating this sort of thing. The actress Ellen Page, who is now calling herself Elliot. But I think I'm going to stop doing this. I think I'm going to stop indulging in the name changes. Because we, for a long time, have said, we're not going to indulge in the pronouns because I'm not going to call her him. You can't force me to lie. Some people are doing that, though. Some people are going along with it, or they're just choosing not to use the pronouns, or they're going to use the singular they, as though, we've got lots of demons inside of us, and we are legion or something. We're not.
Conservatives, man, they're getting better at comedy. Watch out. Whew, that was a funny-ass joke coming out of Michael Knowles' mouth. They, them? You mean like those people that have, like, talk like they're demons inside of them? If you ever read the Bible, when they said the we are legion, it was like they're talking about, like, a more than a singular they? Huh. Checkmate, libcucks.
Inside of us,
right.
And we are legion or something. We're not, but we've said, okay, we on the conservative side, we said, we're not going to go with the pronouns, but we will call them whatever name they want. If they, anyone can change their name, that's perfectly fine. No, I don't think so.
What?
Caitlin is a girl's name. Caitlin's not a boy's name.
Oh my God. Oh, we're doing it. This is, by the way, a fallacy of begging the question, because you're saying Caitlin is a girl's name because Caitlin is a girl's name. No, Caitlin is a girl's name because we have socially decided that Caitlin is a girl's name. What are you talking about? Do you see where this hyper circular logic that these conservatives prescribe to when it comes to gender and stuff, how it just leads them into dumber and dumber positions? Destiny is a girl's name. Yeah, Destiny's a girl's name. No, you see, Caitlin is a name for girls, so then you can't change your name. Is it just the name Caitlin that's off limits here, or is it just people who are already named Caitlin, they can't change their name? Please let us know, Mr. Freedom-loving authoritarian Michael Knowles.
So if I refer to Caitlyn Jenner as him, but I continue to refer to him as Caitlyn, I'm still kind of confusing the issue, aren't I? I don't know that you can just go along and change your name willy-nilly like that. It's a little confusing because you've got George Eliot, one of the greatest female novelists of all time, and you've got...
I love how that's his argument mainly. Is like, well, I can't understand it, so therefore it must be bad. It's like, maybe you're just stupid. Have you ever thought about that one? I mean, it's a possibility, right?
It's a little confusing because you've got George Eliot, one of the greatest female novelists of all time, and you've got Evelyn.
Also, by the way, just really quickly, if I can just add. How easy is it to change your name? Let's see. You have to pay a fee. Oh, man. You want the name Caitlin? You know that's a girl's name? It's about to cost you $200, bitch. So yeah, you had to like do it in court. So yes, you can legally change your name. It's not difficult to change your name in California. In some cases, you no longer need a court order. So you literally are able to change your name pretty easily. You, by his words, can kind of change your name willy-nilly. But apparently now even that's bad. Your biological name.
It's not a lady, not Evelyn. You know, it's not a gal. He's a guy. So I know, look, there's a little ambiguity with the names, a little more so than with the pronouns, but I think I'm going to have to go with Ellen Page. So Ellen Page posts this photo of herself topless. This photo would not be permitted for if any other woman did it, but because Ellen Page is pretending to be a man, she gets to...
It's not that he's pretending to be a man. If I'm not mistaken, he had, like, top surgery, correct? They're not... Oh, my God. Michael Knowles, man. Hold on. Do they get top surgery? Yeah. Yep. This is after top surgery. So this is not a woman flopping her big boobies out and then posting it up on Instagram and everyone being like, well... They say they're a boy. No, this is someone who had top surgery, and they now have a male-looking chest. So, literally, no. This is, I mean, you realize that by getting top surgery, like, that's by definition the opposite of pretending anything. Like, you've done something now. It happened.
Ellen Page is pretending to be a man. She gets to post this picture, and she looks much more like a boy. She's had breast mutilation. She's...
He tries to use all the scary words. Top surgery? No. Breast mutilation. I wonder if he'd say that about all the people that get plastic surgery or about people that, like, suffer burns and need to get, like, skin grafts or whatever. I don't know. I wonder if he'd hold that same mutilation standard there.
Got some abs now. I don't know if that was surgical or if that's... from lifting weights or something.
Yeah, Michael, I know that you don't know what it's like to have abs, but you don't usually get those via surgery, my dude.
Something like that from doing crunches. You can tell I don't really know exactly how these muscle groups are developed.
Yeah, all right.
That's not my thing.
We're good. We're good.
Wearing men's swim trunks and saying, you know, look, I'm a boy now. Look how happy I am. Big smile on her face. All right, now that I've got your attention, ring the bell. Ring the bell.
That was it? Nothing else? Just that was the clip? Shocking. Topless photos of Elliot Page praised by progressives. So basically this is just like 3 minutes of Michael Knowles crying because some progressives are okay with somebody being happy. I tell you, man, I think Michael Knowles, I think he just doesn't like it when people are happy. I think that's what it is. Well, I look forward to Michael Knowles naming his child, like, Bean Burrito or something. And then when his kid is like, Dad, I want to change my name. I'm getting picked on at school. No, son. Sit down right now, Burrito, when I'm talking to you. That is your biological Bean Burrito name, bitch. I don't know. It's so cringy. There's just, it's literally him complaining about somebody just living a happier life. So, yeah. Elliot Page transitioned and is happy, and Michael Knowles is mad about it. Okay. Why is he censoring Elliot's nipples? Because he's a fragile snowflake, and he's trying to like, he's trying to play into his delusion. He's delusionally believing that Elliot Page is a girl, so that's why he's doing it. Yeah. All right. Well, since I got stood up for my debate, I guess we'll go ahead and read some super chats and hold on. Here it is. Okay. Double sauce, thanks for the $5. Damn Hunter, you got LMAO. All right. Fuck off, okay? We don't need to relive that. Shitty Economist, thanks for the $10. Sorry you're getting dunked on. Me too. Jacob is cool, thanks for the $2. Are you still pro-life? Please say yes. I am, yes. Jacob, thank you for the $2. Society will call me transphobic. I don't care. Okay. I'm not sure. I went offline? Dude, are you kidding me? Why does this happen every fucking time? Oh my god. All right, well, we're still getting, I don't know what the heck is going on or why it's lagging. My computer is being stupid again. Lloyd Christmas, thanks for the $2. The writer malding over LGBT-themed cereal, LOL. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. DeAndrea B, thank you for the $5. Can you talk about Biden's support? I'd have to look into that more. I'm sorry before I can give you a fair answer. But yeah, no one stood me up, by the way, guys. I got stood up in a debate. Okay, that was all. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning into the stream. I'm going to go. I don't know why I'm lagging out super hard. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. See you all soon. Wait, I almost missed a message here for some reason. I didn't see this. Double sauce, thanks for the $5. Hey, under checkout loser.com. You won't regret it. No, I'm not falling for anything else there, all right?